You don't ruin your life in one day, and you don't change it in one day either. It happens quietly. One choice, then another, then another. And after a few months, you look at yourself and realize something uncomfortable. You either became stronger, or you became the same person you were trying to escape. Most people search for the big habit, the perfect morning routine, the extreme schedule, the new workout plan, the system that will finally force them to change. But real transformation almost never begins with something dramatic. It begins with one small moment that repeats every day. The moment you want to grab your phone, but choose to get up first. The moment you want to delay the task, but give it the first 5 minutes. The moment emotion demands a reaction, but you stay quiet long enough to think. That is the 1% habit. Not changing your entire life at once. Just winning one small moment each day that used to defeat you. 1. Find the exact moment where control usually slips. Everyone has that moment. Not a huge problem, not a disaster, not some dramatic collapse. Just a small point where everything starts to fall apart. For one person, it's the morning. He wakes up, reaches for the phone, and within 20 minutes, the day has already started from reaction instead of control. For another, it's the evening. He comes home tired, promises himself he'll do something useful, then slowly falls into food, videos, scrolling, and that strange empty fatigue that doesn't feel like rest. For someone else, it's emotion. One comment, one message, one look from another person, and suddenly, his entire mood belongs to something outside of him. The 1% habit doesn't begin with the question, how do I change my whole life? It begins with a sharper one. Where do I betray myself most often? It doesn't sound pleasant, but it's honest. Because until that point is visible, you'll keep trying to fix everything at once. And the person who tries to fix everything at once usually fixes nothing. Choose one point. Only one. Start there. 2. Make the right action so small it becomes hard to refuse. People often fail, not because they are weak, but because the entrance is too heavy. Starting Monday, I train every day. Tomorrow, I read for 1 hour. From now on, no phone. Today, I become disciplined. It sounds powerful, but the mind hears danger. The distance between the old life and the new one feels too wide. Too much resistance appears. Too many reasons to delay. The 1% habit works differently. Not 1 hour of reading, 1 page, not a perfect workout. 10 push-ups, not complete order in life. A clean desk, not a full day without the phone. The first 10 minutes of the morning, without a screen. The size of the action is not the point. The evidence is the point. You're showing yourself, I can begin. I can choose. I can take one small correct action, even when I don't feel ready. And over time, the small action stops being small. It becomes proof of a new identity. 3. Don't try to become different. Start collecting evidence. Many people tell themselves, I want to become disciplined. But identity doesn't change through desire. It changes through evidence. If you promise yourself every day that you'll start, and then you don't, the mind reaches a conclusion. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. Your word cannot be trusted. And the opposite is also true. If you keep even a small promise every day, something stronger begins to appear inside. You're no longer just hoping to become better. You're seeing facts. Yesterday, you did it. Today, You did it. Tomorrow, maybe, you'll do it again. That is how self-respect is built. Not from motivational words, not from beautiful plans, but from repeated evidence that you can control yourself. And this matters. The 1% habit is not about the result on day one. It is about no longer being the kind of person who constantly disappoints himself. One small win does not change your life, but it changes your relationship with yourself. And when that relationship changes, decisions change. When decisions change, direction changes. And when direction changes for long enough, a life begins to transform. That is why small actions are dangerous. They look weak, but repeated enough times, they become stronger than any promise. 4. Protect the first 30 minutes of the day. If you need one practical place to begin, start with the morning. The first 30 minutes of the day are not just time, they are mental programming. If the first thing your mind receives is news, messages, opinions, faces, someone else's life, someone else's problems, then you haven't even stood up yet, but your attention has already been handed away. The day begins not with choice, but with consumption. Then people wonder why focus feels impossible. But focus didn't disappear by accident. It was given away in the first minutes. Try something different. Wake up. Don't touch the phone. Wash your face. Drink water. Open the window. Write down 3 things that must be done today, not 20. 3. 1 for the body, 1 for work or study, 1 for mental order. It won't look like a massive transformation, but this is how control returns. Not through chaos, through a simple, repeatable standard. 5. Use resistance as the signal. The most important moment doesn't arrive when it feels easy. It arrives when resistance appears. You don't want to get up. You don't want to begin. You don't want to train. You don't want to stay silent instead of reacting. You don't want to do the boring work. Before, that resistance was a sign to stop. Now, make it the signal to start. This is not about romanticizing pain. Life doesn't need to become a constant war. But one thing must be understood. The old version of you will always resist the actions that destroy it. If a habit makes you weaker, it'll often feel pleasant. If a habit makes you stronger, it will usually feel uncomfortable at first. That is normal. Discipline almost always begins with internal protest. You don't need to argue with it. Just take the first step. 5 minutes of work. 1 set. 1 page. 1 refusal of what is unnecessary. Resistance loses power once action has already begun. 6. Never break the chain 2 days in a row. You don't have to be perfect. That matters. Because many people don't quit because of one mistake. They quit because they turn the mistake into an identity. They miss 1 day and immediately think, there it is, I'm the same as before. No, 1 bad day is just 1 bad day. The danger begins when it gets a second one beside it. So the rule is simple. Never break the chain 2 days in a row. Miss the workout today. Tomorrow, move for 10 minutes. Fell into scrolling at night. Reclaim the morning. Didn't do everything perfectly. Do the minimum, but do it. That is how resilience is built. Not through perfection, through returning. A strong person is not the one who never falls into old patterns. It is the one who refuses to live there. 7. After 30 days, you won't have a new life. You'll have a new self-image. Don't expect magic. After 30 days, every problem won't disappear. The body won't become perfect. Fear won't vanish. Motivation won't stay forever. Life won't transform in one dramatic motion. But something more important will change. The way you see yourself. As someone who keeps promises. As someone who can begin without the right mood. As someone who returns after a bad day. As someone who chooses control more often than weakness. And that is enough to begin a new trajectory. Because life doesn't change when you do one big thing once. It changes when small correct actions become so normal that the old version of you no longer feels natural. The 1% habit does not look impressive. No one will clap because you spent the first 10 minutes of the morning without your phone. No one will notice one page read, one calm response, one evening without escape, one small plan completed. But that is where a person is built. Not in public, not in the mood of inspiration, but inside small decisions repeated long enough to become character. Don't try to change everything today. Choose one moment, one weak point, one repeated loss, one small choice that usually takes control away from you. Tomorrow, make it 1% better, then again and again, until it becomes normal. Because one small habit repeated long enough stops being a habit. It becomes you. Subscribe